Great to see you this morning. So the president bringing in the National Guard to help crack down on crime in D.C. And I understand you have some new arrest numbers out overnight. What can you share with us?
Yes, that's right, Charla, and great to be with you. Thanks for having me. President Trump has decided to federalize the National Guard here in Washington, D.C., and to take over the Metropolitan Police Department because D.C. has unfortunately been ravaged with violent crime for far too long. 65% of D.C. residents say crime is a very serious problem, and the president signed an executive order back in May saying that we are going to make D.C. safe and beautiful again. And we've already seen enormous success in just the less than a week that this multi-task force agency has been on the streets of the District of Columbia removing criminals. Last night there were 45 criminal arrests. Those arrests include charges for assault, both first and second degree, drug offenses. We've removed illegal narcotics off of the streets. And then in addition to those 45 criminal arrests, there were also 29 illegal aliens who were removed from the streets of Washington, D.C. last night, many of whom had final orders of removal but were just living here freely because D.C. has unfortunately for far too long been a sanctuary city. Not anymore. The District of Columbia will only be a sanctuary for law-abiding citizens and for tourists and visitors from around the world.
And I know that this won't surprise you, but on other networks, some are looking for racist reasons for the federal takeover. Here's Al Sharpton yesterday on MSNBC. Take a listen.
New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Oakland, all cities with black mayors. Is that your calculus here, Mr. President? Why you don't see people are hurting and I named some cities that are white and say, let's go in these cities. I'll meet you there, Mr. President. Why are you only having a segregated intervention?
Whew, what do you make of those comments?
I think those comments are utterly disgraceful, and the president wants to make all of our cities safe. And the reason for this federal takeover of Washington, D.C. is because this is where the crime is happening. There is violent crime that is taking the lives of far too many black Americans, I will add, and Americans of all races, religions, creeds. The president wants to protect them and to make our streets safer and more beautiful. On July 5th, you had a beautiful young girl, 3 years old, who was shot and killed in her car coming back from a 4th of July celebration with her family. That life is worth what the president is doing. He wants to protect law-abiding Americans and families regardless of race. And I think it's despicable that you hear comments like that trying to inject race in this conversation. This is about law and order and safety. That's what President Trump cares about. And while the Democrats want to coddle criminals and illegal aliens, the president is going to put them behind bars. No matter what color they are, no matter where they come from, if you break the law in D.C. or anywhere in this country, you need to be held accountable, period.
Yeah, great point. Well said. I want to move on to tomorrow's high-stakes meeting between President Trump and President Putin in Anchorage, Alaska. I know it's been 10 years since Putin was on American soil. The president says there will be, quote, severe consequences if Putin does not agree to end the war with Ukraine. What can we expect to come from this meeting?
Well, the president looks forward to the meeting tomorrow. This came at the request of Russia President Vladimir Putin. And the President Trump has taken every lever and has exhausted so many options in trying to bring this brutal war, which he inherited from Joe Biden because of Joe Biden's weakness and incompetence. He's exhausted every option to bring this to a peaceful diplomatic resolution. And so the president is willing to sit down with Russian President Putin tomorrow, look him in the eye, sit face to face, and see what progress can be made to move the ball forward to peace. So the president will be departing here at the White House bright and early tomorrow, 6:30 in the morning for Anchorage, Alaska, where the two leaders will take part in a one-on-one meeting followed by a bilateral lunch with the respective delegations from each country, then followed by a press conference. So we look forward to the day to see what comes from it. President Trump has incredible instincts. That's why he was overwhelmingly reelected back to this office. That's why he's been able to bring 7 global conflicts to an end in just 7 months here as president. And it's because he knows how to use the leverage of the United States of America to broker peace. And so that's what he'll be seeking to do tomorrow.
White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt, great to have you with us this morning. Thank you so much.